And these are mercenaries, and you're right. But this is the level of incompetence of this administration has seen no bounds. And I'll tell you, the Clinton administration wasn't all that much better. We have to get control. And Alex, the only way to do it, and here, I admire many things that Ron Paul. I think the most important thing domestically is to wipe out the IRS and the income tax and put on a retail sales tax. Until we change our system of revenue and provide for transparency, total transparency. So I know what you're paying, Alex. You know what I'm paying, and we're paying the same amount of tax. And then and it's progressive. The retail sales, the more you spend, the more you pay.
Well, Senator, we don't have a lot of time left.
Money.
Sure. Senator, running for president. We don't, as a Democrat, we don't have a lot of time left. I have a few other questions for you. One of the big ones is it's upwards of $4 trillion missing from the Pentagon over the last 12 years, most of it under Bush, a lot of it under Clinton. And it's accelerating. The pension funds have been sucked dry. The money's all gone. I've watched Armed Services Committee hearings where they ask the Secretary of Defense and the head of procurement, Dr. Chu, about all this, and they just say, we're not going to answer your questions. It's a secret. I mean, how corrupt is it when trillions are missing? I mean, have we entered the twilight zone?
Yes, we have. 90% of what the government holds secret should not be secret. The only way you're going to have freedom is for people to know what their government is doing and doing to them. And that's what's going on today. And we acquiesce in this at every step of the way.
Can you speak to the trillions missing?
Well, speak to the Department of Defense is not auditable. They can't audit it. It's impossible to audit it. And now we find that Homeland Security is unauditable. That means that regardless of what you try to do, nobody knows where the money's going.
This is designed for mass fraud and bank robbery.
Of course. Well, here, Alex, just think what it means. Well, you know what 20 tons of $100 bills looks like? They unloaded it with pallet after pallet, and this is the money that after we invaded Iraq, that we passed around Iraq like a bunch of drunken sailors. It's your tax money.
By the way, that was only one delivery.
20 tons.
Yeah,
of $100 bills. You know what it looks like?
It looks like a mountain.
Well, that's right. It's your tax dollars.
Now,
People
Senator Gravel,
work hard for this stuff, and they're just pissing it away.
Well, you know, they're not allowed to search anybody above a major. It's like their payoff to be able to steal the money. It's just, I mean, they're making them all mercs because they know the troops are mad about not being mercs. Now, in closing, Senator, and I want to fire out your website because I want to give people, a view of one of the other alternative candidates out there. 9/11 Truth, and I want you to go further than you've gone before, because Senate just called for another investigation. 84% of Americans in an Angus and Reid poll last year said they believe they're being lied to. Even Lee Hamilton of the commission says the White House was deceptive. We have the PNAC documents saying that they wanted to use a terrorist attack. Bottom line, should there be a new investigation in 9/11?
Not only should there be another investigation, it should be mandatory with subpoena powers, and everybody who's subpoenaed must be placed under oath, and the subpoenas should start with George Bush and the vice president and on down the line. And if they violate it, and if we uncover any criminality, if it's right at the president or the vice president, they should go to jail like anybody else.
Well, I want to know this. Instead of General Myers, when NORAD, quote, stood down and messed up, even if you believe the official story, why did he get promoted to Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff? Why did the FBI section chiefs, bureau chiefs, who ordered their agents to back off people that they said, quote, want to fly planes into towers, why did they get bonuses and the guys that blew the whistle get in trouble?
Always the case. Here, the government is so corrupt. Look at the Henry Kissinger. He's still considered a person that you go seek advice. My God, in parts of the world, he's looked upon as a war criminal, and he dare not travel there or he'd be arrested.
Senator Gravel, what do you think? I mean, do you smell a stinking rat on 9/11?
Hey, there's just something basic. They didn't even close the dots. I mean, when you get repeated reports from somebody that says, hey, these people are training to learn how to fly. They don't want to learn how to take off. They don't want to learn how to land, but they just want to learn how to fly a big superliner. Does it take a genius to figure out that that is something that should be immediately investigated? Hey, what happened? We spent $26 billion on our intelligence system before 9/11. After the total failure of 9/11, we give them another $15 billion, and nobody gets fired. At least
Senator
in Japan, when you screw up, you turn around and commit harikari.
Is there a cover-up on 9/11?
It sure looks like it.
Sure looks like a cover-up. In closing, what would you say to Democrats who are running around glazed over, loving Hillary? I mean, how could they claim they're liberals?
Over. My God, the Democratic Party in the Senate just voted to give George Bush power to invade Iran, and there's a House deal that's up to do the same thing. Here, fool me once, it's your fault. Fool me twice, it's my fault. Well, the Democrats are fooling people twice with what they're doing in the Congress. And as a Democrat running for office, I'm not afraid to tell them. And, of course, that's one of the reasons I've been cut out, because keep in mind, it's your General Electric that loves to make things for the American people that's one of the warmongers of this country. We're going to call them out where they live.
Well, I'm glad you're there running as a Democrat and drawing attention to the fact that the Democratic Party is an absolute fraud. Senator, fire out. You got so many websites. Which ones would you like to put out?
The first one, which is my own website, which is Gravel2008.us. Please support me. And the other one that's more important than my website is the National Initiative.us. That empowers you that can hear my voice. You're the ones that need to be empowered so you can take your country.
Yes, sir.
Don't say take back, because you never had it.
Senator, as the campaign develops, can I have you back on?
Anytime you want, Alex.
God bless you. Thanks for coming on with us.
You too.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.